Dr. Anthony Fauci faced heated questioning from Republican lawmakers about the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The top U.S. infectious disease expert until 2022 was grilled by a House panel behind closed doors back in January, but this time they questioned him in public and on camera.
I want to thank you for your decades of public service. I'm sorry about the threats that you have received.
A cordial greeting soon eroded into partisan tensions.
Americans were aggressively bullied, shamed, and silenced for merely questioning or debating issues such as social distancing, masks, vaccines, or the origins of COVID.
The people who brought you the political big lie now bring you the medical big lie, making the outlandish claim that Dr. Fauci was responsible for causing COVID-19.
Today's public hearing follows closed-door testimony Dr. Anthony Fauci gave U.S. House lawmakers in January on the U.S.'s COVID-19 response. He was grilled on issues like social distancing.
The burdensome 6-foot social distancing rule did not have sufficient scientific report. In your words, it just sort of appeared.
When I said that it just appeared, it appeared. What I meant by no science behind it is that there wasn't a controlled trial that said compare 6 foot with 3 feet with 10 feet.
That answer seized on by other GOP panel members.
Making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci?
Dr. Fauci repeatedly denied claims by some Republicans that he covered up the origins of the pandemic and stood by his former testimony that the COVID-19 virus was most likely a natural occurrence not created in a Chinese lab. The 83-year-old immunologist who spent more than half a century as a government scientist and became the public face of the pandemic response under 2 presidents discussed the level of attacks he now faces.
It is very troublesome to me. It is much more troublesome because they've involved my wife and my 3 daughters.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do. Every time someone gets up and says I'm responsible for the death of people throughout the world, the death threats go up.
Despite the emotional response, testimony got spicy.
Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked.
Some eye-popping moments from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers, a fact that's been hidden.
They sent her trending at the top of X right alongside Dr. Fauci. Fauci saying he earned little in royalties aside from $120 from an antibody invented years before the pandemic.
You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Democrat Jamie Raskin shot back with this response, referencing Donald Trump.
Some of our colleagues in the United States House of Representatives seem to want to drag your name through the mud. They're treating you, Dr. Fauci, like a convicted felon. Actually, you probably wish they were treating you like a convicted felon. They treat convicted felons with love and admiration.
Monday's session was the culmination of a 15-month inquiry that was intended to look into the pandemic's origins, but it's quickly turned into a referendum on Dr. Fauci. Democrats saying the investigation so far has found no evidence that Fauci did anything wrong.